Oh, good evening. We are live. Hardcore Homeowner. How's it going tonight, man?
Hey, man. Good to see you,
Great
brother.
to see you.
Hello.
Great to see you. So, who do we have in the studio tonight?
You know what,
Hardcore
Shane
Homeowner?
Train? I'm excited to have tonight. This is one of my partners in the RTI adventure that we're doing. He also with S&G Homes and has our RTI adventure that we're doing. Our restoration company down in Ocean City, Maryland. It's part of our team as well. So Steve Gladwin is here and just excited to have him. We got Zales up here on the background. You know we're going to talk about RTI tonight, but Zales is sponsoring the show. So obviously we want to put their logo up a little bit and get them going. Yeah, well, fire me up, man.
Thanks.
But, so yeah, episode 3, right?
Yeah,
Is that
today's
what we're
episode
doing?
3. Hardcore Homeowner. Check it out. We got some great information. I'm excited. I've had a lot of great feedback. I want to make sure I'm a hardcore homeowner. So I've been checking stuff.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good feedback on the shows, and a lot of the people are really liking the content and the fact that we're offering tips and tidbits of information that you may not think about if someone doesn't bring them up to you. Now next week I've got a great guy coming in as an insurance agent here in New York, and I mean he's an active property and casualty insurance agent, and we're going to talk about policies, asking the right questions. What riders and coverages do we need? All those types of things, so that anybody watching is going to be equipped when they can call their agent, which will be the challenge, is to call your agent, say, hey, let's have a sit down, let's go over my policy, let's make sure I got all the right coverages, am I paying the right rates, and all those things. So it's just going to be awesome next week, and I'll announce that guest a little bit later. But let's talk about tonight. So we've got Zales up here. Everybody knows Zales Property Restoration. We do mitigation, full restoration, fire, water, smoke, soot, mold, vandalism, crime scene cleanup. I mean, if it happens to a residential or commercial property, we do it. And that's our sister company or our partner company. S&G Homes. Is S&G Restoration in Ocean City, Maryland, right?
Correct, yes.
So same business plan, same business model, same great people. I mean, you don't really have anybody as good looking as me on the staff, I don't think. But
We'll look around.
you have to hunt for that one for a while. But in the middle of that is when we met about a month or two ago. We talked about this RTI idea, and Steve and myself and Brian Zales, obviously the owner of Zales, got together. We started a company we're calling RTI Solutions. So that's RTI Solutions right there. We've talked about it a couple of times on the shows, but I really want to dive in tonight and kind of get into it, because to me it is an extension of our theme of being a hardcore homeowner. I mean, part of homeownership. One, you got to buy a house before you can own it. So you got to understand how to buy a house right. You guys ever watch HGTV and there's that guy Mike Holmes?
With his son?
Yeah,
Holmes and
he's got his son and his daughter in it now. Have you ever watched Holmes?
Yeah.
Holmes, it was like Holmes Does It Right, or
Buddy, good evening.
Several different franchises of it now. But I really like them because he's got one going on now. I just watched it Sunday. No, wait. What's today?
Please share.
Thursday.
Dorothy.
So I guess I watched it.
Please share. Good
Tuesday. But it's
Hardcore
called
Homeowner.
Holmes Buy It Right. So he gets a couple who, most of the HGT stuff is they go look at 3 houses and pick one, whichever is best for them. Well, he's taking them to the same thing, but he's actually doing a basic home inspection for them.
Hi,
But he's
Rochelle.
doing like a deep dive.
Right.
And he's actually not just there to get his $400 home inspection paycheck. He's diving into these houses to make sure they're buying the proper house. Or he's saying, I'm not saying not to buy it, but if you do, these are some things you got to take care of right away to make this to be a hardcore homeowner, in my opinion. So I really like that idea, and we can do some of those things as well. I mean, we work with a lot of local home inspectors. We have a lot of home inspectors that are friends of ours and are referral partners of ours that we run into them all over the place. And when they write a home inspection, it's a list of repairs that need to be done to make that home sellable and be able to go to the closing table. So if you're getting ready to sell a house, you got to get an inspection done. If you're getting ready to buy a house, either they have an inspection done or you're going to get one. Either way, you're looking to make sure you're buying the right property, right? So you've been doing this kind of work for a long time.
Yep.
So RTI, which if anybody doesn't know, RTI stands for Reply to Inspection, right? So let's just paint a scenario. We've done it before. Let's do it again tonight. So let's say I'm listing my house for sale and Shane Train's my agent, and you're going to be the buyer, and you're interested in buying my home. So now the next thing we have to do is get that home inspection done. And so they're going to come out
Corporate
do a full
Plaster.
home inspection on the property and write a report, correct?
A full report.
They're going to write a full report. And it's going to be all the recommendations. It's going to be from little things all the way up to the significant findings, right? And then it's for that seller, buyer, and the agents and everybody to go through and say,
Veronica,
of these things,
Russ.
what do we have to get done?
Right. The seller's going to agree to a certain terms on that page.
Right.
Or on the 48-page
They're
report.
typically very long, yeah.
And then they work it back and forth, like you said, between the buyer and seller, and then they create that reply to inspection,
Right,
which is then sent to us,
right.
and it's a one-call shop. So that report comes to us, 24 hours, we get that report back to you with an estimate,
Right?
and then once it's agreed upon, we're at your house in the next couple of days, because usually it's real close to close, so you got a real
it's
short
always
window.
behind the 8 ball, and,
Yeah.
and I've seen that with everyone we've done so far.
Yeah.
I've done many already.
They've had it for 30
Is-
days, but we get 3.
Yeah, we get 3 to get it
Yeah.
done. Yeah, or they got, hey, we close on Tuesday. Can you knock this out? I mean, we had one the other day where she called. She's like, hey,
It's
we
3
close.
hours.
We close at 2 o'clock.
wow.
Can you guys take care of something so we can get to the closing table? And of course, we knocked it out.
But
And,
when you guys say it like no big deal, but to the homeowner, and please share this out, Nicole, everyone out there, I mean, that's a huge stressful time, gigantic stressful time. They don't sell and buy houses all the time. You do it, make it look easy for people, and that's important that people understand it's the experience that we're talking
And
about.
you miss that closing date, that there's all kinds of costs that are associated if you miss that date.
And you've lost a sale. The agent's lost a sale. The buyer lost a buy.
Right.
I mean, everybody's dead in the water at that point. So a couple things that you said that I want to kind of jump on and take a little step further, because you used the term one-stop shop. What do you mean by that?
So when you call RTI, our guys are very knowledgeable. Their experience, I would say, at a minimum is 10 years. So they cover your basics, carpentry, basic plumbing, basic electric. But we also have licensed electricians and licensed plumbers on staff. So I would say 98% of what comes up on them inspection reports are ready to go. We have in-house designers, we have an architect, we have an engineer. So if it's a structural issue, we can have the engineer there the same day, look at the problem.
That is huge, because to get a structural engineer at somebody's house, the scheduling alone can be daunting. Just trying to find somebody to come out and do it. They're like a plumber; they want paid at the door if you're hiring them off the street. But if it's our guy, it's all.
When he
packaged
says
in the
license, I'm a homeowner. This isn't my thing. And so, how many times me even have had people find out they're not even licensed and they come out. So
Well, it's bizarre because in Pennsylvania, I did a lot of work in Maryland for almost 20 years. In Maryland, you have to be licensed across the board in whatever you do.
Right.
Pennsylvania's a little bit behind that. So you don't necessarily have to have a license to work on a homeowner's house.
It's up to the homeowner to make sure whatever's done to that
So
house
can we
meets
at
code.
some point touch on how you figure that out? Because I think homeowners are like, yeah, that's great, but Dustin, Ryan, everyone, please share this.
Hey, Ryan, hey,
I
Dustin.
think that would be something like, how does a homeowner, to be a hardcore homeowner, they should make sure. How do you make sure that your contractor? I don't want to throw you off, but maybe sometime we could touch on.
No, it's a great question. So circle back. So one of the couple of big things that you said there is that there are guys. Like, these are W-2 employees. These aren't subcontractors on a W-9.
We're not going to Turkey Hill in the
We're not
morning
going.
and
We're
get
not
out of the
sitting out
van.
in Lowe's parking lot saying, "Hey, you look like you can swing a hammer. Do you want to come to work today?" That's not happening. All right, this is our team.
Right.
So, and the only way we can pull off some of the things that we pull off is to have that relationship, is to have staff W-2 guys, because just like for the favor we did the other day, these guys are out on houses already. So we needed one guy to go take a look at something. We can take him from that. He runs over, knocks it out, and he can go back to work. And that's how we're able to get that done. So if we take it back even a step further, and we'll bring in your point, Shane, but as a homeowner, like you made a great point. I'm a homeowner. I don't know all this stuff, right? Well, think about it when you're selling your house. I mean, that's why you have all these specialists, right? You have an agent who specializes in negotiating contracts, and you have you got to go to the closing table with title companies, and sometimes there's attorneys. I mean, all these things. As a homeowner, you're just kind of along for the ride to some extent.
Yeah, a lot.
Unless you know a lot, right?
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of trust involved there, too. So when a homeowner gets that home inspection report, like you said, some of them are 40, 50, 60 pages long.
Wow.
And it may come right to the homeowner.
Right.
And they're going to look at that
And it's not necessarily everything in that list is wrong or
true,
it's a
but
problem.
When you look at it, it's like, oh dear God, like it's very daunting. So you're looking through this thing, and now it's like, okay, I'm seeing plumbing, and I'm seeing electrical, and I'm seeing concrete work because I've got a trip hazard on my sidewalk. I'm seeing all these different trades, right, on this report. Now what do I got to do? As a homeowner, I'm thinking to myself like you, well, I got to call 3 electricians and get bids. I got to call 3 plumbers and get bids because I can't find one person that's going to do all, you know,
Right.
I mean, you naturally think, who am I going to get?
Or you have your agent spinning their head thinking the same
Or you don't
thing,
know.
you
Or
so-
hopefully the agent knows RTI.
Right.
And soon they will, right? And the ones that do already know, they go, Mrs. Jones, because what's the agent want to do? One of the best things a real estate agent wants to do is be a hero.
Yeah.
And the easiest way is to go, dude, chill. I got this, right? I got a guy. And we've been about for 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
For hardcore homeowner, when something comes
maybe.
up, you think to yourself, I got to call my
Can you
guy.
share this?
That's what we want the agents to be able to do. We want agents and homeowners to just be like, dude, this is too easy. All right, and the only way that works for us at RTI, one, is being professional, being great communicators, and being priced properly. Right? If we price gouge, if we were to gouge on the pricing and stuff, we're not going to get used again, and that's
Right.
going to get spread around. So it's got to be the pricing has to be right.
We have a standardized pricing list that is pretty much across the board.
course.
So it doesn't matter where it's coming from. The prices are the same.
There's a labor rate for time and material stuff. Material rate is what it is. If we have to buy a handrail to put it on, it's all pretty simple. So when you get our estimate, it's going to show a line item breakdown of each thing that we're doing and the price for each of those things and the total at the bottom.
And
It's not just going to say
it directly coordinates with the report.
With the report,
So everybody
same
that's looking at
verbiage.
it can see.
so it's not just going to say RTI reply and be $900
Right.
or $5,000 or whatever it's going to be.
Right.
You'll be able to see the breakdown, compare it with the report, and know what you're getting for the money that you're spending, which is great. We turn those in 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
If not sooner. And then we produce the work in-house, so there's not worrying about having to get it on the schedule. We can schedule it and knock it out as fast as
Matt
possible.
Ron said that.
Who's that? Ron Danner. That's my man right there. You want to talk about a hardcore homeowner? Ron Danner is the man. Ron is a maintenance supervisor. He may own the place now, I don't know, but for a very large apartment community, multi-housing company in Central PA, and probably one of my great friends. We go shooting pheasants a lot and sporting clays and stuff like that. Just a great dude. Good shout out to Ron. But yeah, so that's RTI in a nutshell, right? So the homeowner's got to be able to take a deep breath and go, this is really not as big a deal as it looks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we've got to be able to produce and do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah, and then when you look at those reports and you see, most of the inspectors in the area, they really like to go to, major issues.
Right.
And they color them in red, and
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, those major issues are not something that's going to be detrimental to the house. It's,
And we know that.
Right.
Well, the
Right?
homeowner likes to
But a
hear
homeowner
that.
sees, but
Like
a
as soon
homeowner's
as
going to
it's-
see
yeah.
it, Shane, in that report.
Oh.
I've seen
they
lots
see
of
all those
homeowners-
red words, and they're like, oh my
Red
God.
pen is big, right? And it's like my high school career. Lots of red ink on my pages, but that report. A lot of times they put things in, whether it's by mistake or people are just different. But there's those things called significant findings, right?
Right.
And redoing the caulk around the bathtub is not a significant finding.
Right.
But it may be in red ink by that home inspector just for some unknown reason. And we've seen that a lot where when we sit down with it and we go, okay, that's not really a significant finding. And they'll go, oh, you're right. I don't know why that got in there. Well, there's some talking and some
Right.
correspondence that has to take place, right? The last thing we want to do is make you spend more money or do things that don't need to be done. But if it's on that report, now, let's go a different direction, all right? A couple other avenues to talk about, because this is pretty simple, right? I mean, RTI, this is all the kind of stuff that we're going to see a lot of. We see a lot of flashing issues, lots of little plumbing issues, something not it's if the drain isn't pitched properly, water don't run uphill. And if we catch that, the home inspector's going to fix that. Could be some brick work that needs done.
I think
point out some
homeowners are hard
touch-ups.
to get someone to come out for flashing, and that's a huge issue with
Well, it
this
is,
work.
but nobody wants to do these little jobs, so it's important that we have somebody like that. So we could do, now let's just say there's a couple of different things going on here, guys. If you're maybe you own a rental property and someone's getting ready to move out and you know that the place needs some love, right? And let's say you've only been charging this much for rent, but if you put a few $100 into that or a couple $1,000 into that thing, you can take the rent higher and do better on your return. But you got to find somebody to do those things.
Yeah.
Make it rent ready, if you will.
Yeah.
But it may even need dressed up a little bit. Maybe we need to change out the carpet, the flooring, the tile, throw some crown up, whatever it is, depending on the place, right? that would be something we would do as well.
Well, and apartment units is a really good one.
For sure.
That we take care of. That's, if you got a multi-unit building and you have a constant turnover of tenants,
Yep.
we come in, caulk, paint, carpet, LVP flooring,
Yep.
in and out in 2 days. Apartment's
Wow.
back on the
People
market,
like to
ready to
hear
go.
that.
Turn that sucker over,
Yeah.
right? Like Ron Danner, who's on here watching right now. Like that's one of the things that he and I talk about a lot is the maintenance teams at apartment communities. So let's say, January 31st, you got 8 units moving out. Now you may have 8 renters ready to come in and take those spots, but guess what has to happen?
Wow.
They got to turn them. And
Yeah.
if they're trashed, it's harder to turn and get it rent ready than if you had somebody who took care of the place. It's not always a little touch-up paint and a good cleaning, right? But that's what they run into. And Ron, you and I can talk offline, but we want to be able to put something together like that where our pricing is somewhat similar to what you're used to paying on turns doing it yourself, so that it doesn't sting. We got to make money too. We're not a nonprofit, but we got to figure out.
Construction, though, we
Right,
are.
but it is construction. We're nonprofit. But we can figure that out, maybe. And when you have those, a large amount of turns and you need to get them done fast, you give us a call. We take half of them off your hands and flip them for you.
Yeah.
Pretty simple stuff, right? So that's one way. If you're looking, let's say you're a homeowner,
Michael.
and you say, all right, we're getting ready to downsize, you got an empty nest or whatever, and you're going to buy a smaller place or a condo, we got to get our house ready to sell. An agent will oftentimes come in and make some recommendations, right?
Correct.
Your listing agent may come in and say, look, we got to get rid of the wallpaper, all these borders, anything that needs updated, refreshed.
And we also have an in-house design team.
Exactly.
We have a lady that will come out and do those things for you. A lot of times it's a recommendation from an agent.
Sure.
But we have Donna in our office, and what she'll do is come out and, if the agent says, okay, they have a budget of $2,500.
Right.
Well, curb appeals everything when you're selling your house. So
Right.
it's the front door, it's the foyer, it's maybe dress up the
It's
kitchen with some new
kitchen and
knobs.
bath. Yep.
So we do offer that service as well, so we can get
Nice.
get in and
I
just
think it's huge.
make
Well,
it.
people don't want to have 10 million. They don't want to call 10 million people when they trust their guys.
On the backside, it's the same thing when you move in.
Right.
When you're moving in, right before that sale, if we're in there and we get that, we're in there doing that reply to inspection,
Yep.
and you meet us out there while we're there, and you say, okay, look, we're not moving in for 7 days. We really like new flooring.
Some
We
crown molding and
really like a new countertop,
Yeah.
or whatever it might be. We can knock
or
that
we
out.
do
all
buying
day.
it, we're gonna have to redo the kitchen completely. Are you guys into that? Now our design team comes in, does a
Yeah.
kitchen for them. Now you take your RTI, that was a little thing, but now you've also got our great team out there to help
Brian
make the place
Zales.
livable
What's up,
the way
Brian?
they want it. Hey, Brian Zales. So yeah, I mean, there's all those things. So it's the recommendation of trying to get your house freshened up and ready to sell. It's reply to inspections, and then of course on the restoration piece, both S&G in the Maryland market, Zales in the Central Pennsylvania market. Stuff happens to people's houses all the time. We talked about it last week when Barry was here. Cars run into homes. Somebody thought they were stepping on the brake, stepped on the gas, went right straight to the garage and down.
A lot of those.
We see it all the time,
Wow,
right?
I
So,
couldn't believe how big that was.
it's
Hey,
a-
if you
it's a
have a
big, big
situation
deal.
that happened, post it up there. If you have a question, post it up there.
Yeah, we'll
And
answer any
send-
questions you guys
we'll
might have.
Answer your question, but I
But,
think that's huge.
I mean, hardcore homeowner is, all right, if I've got a home, we got to take care of it. And so next week we're going to talk about policies and meet with our insurance agent friend of mine that's going to come in. And then the week after that, I may have you back if you're available, because what I'd like to do is go off-site from the studio and go to a house. Maybe it's one that we are working on.
Right.
We may have to get permission, but what I want to do is
Hi,
take
how
the
are
live
you?
video mobile, right, and go to those areas of the home that we can teach homeowners to pay attention to.
Right.
Right? Where's your water main shut off? We talked about it last week. Let's show them their hot water heater. What is the overflow valve? What is the expansion tank? What does that mean to what it does? What happens if it fails? How do we
Huge.
keep it from failing? Let's talk about changing furnace filters. Let's talk about our dryer vents. And I want to go and show them
That's actually
the
a
different
service
areas.
that's funny that you bring that up. I didn't even think about that, but that is a service we do with the real estate agents as well.
Sure.
When a buyer agent, people are moving in,
Yep.
they'll have either myself or one of my foremen. They'll come in and they'll walk through the house
Yep.
and basically do like we do on our new home construction side. Just do a basic walkthrough of the house,
Right.
show people where everything is.
But wait, they already got a home inspection.
Right.
Now, what about investors? We have a lot of people that buy
Well, hang on,
properties.
Shay, because they already got a home inspection, right?
They've already got
So
an
why would they
inspection.
need us?
This is just for us to go through and show them how their house works.
Because the home inspector doesn't do that.
No, the home inspector typically
That's
they're
my
not
point
there.
exactly. The
Yes.
home inspector is in when you're probably
Huge.
not there. See how I flipped that around a little bit? The home inspector is going to come in at his leisure. He's got the code while it's listed, right, and do the report. Just send a report in.
Right.
There's no hand holding necessarily
No,
involved in that.
How it works.
This is more and more one-on-one with the homeowner,
Exactly.
and that's how we develop our relationships with our agents.
Exactly.
Because it helps them out.
Huge.
That's a huge service and I know when I bought my first home, I wish somebody would have done that. Because I mean, I'm pretty handy and I was raised pretty well and I know some operational things in the house at that time. And I was
All
only
that
like
time to sell
25.
it, here's the keys.
But yeah,
Right.
exactly.
There you go.
Sign
No,
1,000
but that's a
times and
huge
there's your
thing
house.
when you're a
Once I do it,
homeowner because you think you know it, but to wait till something happens is not a good time, right? And depending on what season, it could cost you money.
Right.
Well, it will always cost you money.
Because the way my house was set up, which I didn't know, it had a summer and winter system on it.
Right.
And I had no clue. They
sure.
could come in and
High and low returns,
And there,
right?
there are things that you need to do to your air conditioner in November.
Simple as
when
taking
you-
a hose off your hose bib in the wintertime.
What happens if you don't?
Busted pipe.
The bib
And you're
freezes
calling
up.
sales or you're calling
And it doesn't do anything until it thaws.
Right,
It's when spring comes, then that pipe, that whole hose bib will crack. It's happened at my house. Barry was here last week. Has helped me change one because I was too dumb to remember to take the hose off.
Yep,
Right?
that
And it happens all the time.
Simple thing. 3
Little
seconds.
bitty things, but if you hire a plumber to come out and do that, you're out $800.
Right.
I mean, I guarantee you, they're gonna get you. So we want to do that. I think that'll be a cool thing is to do a live walk around and through a home and go to things. Dryer vents. One of the things I recommend too, and I think this is a recommendation, but it's again, Shane, we keep talking about this
Hygiene.
hardcore homeowner knowing a guy, right? One of the
Or a
biggest
gal.
things in your house is your central air conditioning system. If you've got forced air and central air conditioning and heat, the ductwork, right? So you're buying somebody else's house, right? I think it might be a good idea to get ductwork clean.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been there could be pets with pet dander, just stuff from 20 years of somebody else living there. Do you know what I mean? Like I even think about to myself like carpets. Like most people, I think when they buy a home, they're like, well, we got to replace the carpet because it's somebody else's carpet. You know, and they always think of that as an upgrade. But hey, let's think about our ductwork here. We might want to get that done and cleaned. Let's say part of the deal is the washer and dryer comes with the house. Happens sometimes, right?
Sometimes,
you don't know
yeah.
the last time the dryer vent was cleaned or the actual dryer lint thing itself. Gotta get that stuff looked at. Number one cause of residential fires, I think it's still number
Hydro
one
leak.
cause is dryers.
wow.
I think it's still number one.
I believe so.
It's that and cooking take place.
That's Brian.
before.
Brian would know.
Brian might know.
I know people like to
If
think
you know
about
it,
the
somebody
hose,
Google it, put it up there. We'll give you a
about
t-shirt.
having the braided hose and not the rubber hose. They like that nugget.
Yeah. Just same thing. Let's look at the hoses on the back of the washing machines.
Yeah.
If it's still the old rubber ones, we need to get rid of that. Let's go with the stainless, right? Big stuff, little things that are big stuff.
Old chrome traps, P-traps under the sinks,
There you
with
go.
today's hard water, they rot right out.
That's exactly
Wow.
right. That's exactly
People might
right.
not know. How would a hardcore homeowner know how to find out if they have hard water or not?
So, no, probably not. I wouldn't
you
think
could
so. We'll
teach
talk
them
them through that for sure.
day.
And then the one thing we're going to have, not next week, but the week after when we come back and do this walk.
Burning
who's
food,
that?
still number one.
Number 2 is dryer. Okay, burning the food in the kitchen.
Bro.
They must have eaten my wife's cooking. Okay. Oh, I didn't say that out loud, did I? So, one of the things that we want to put up on, we'll do it as like a slide, and then we can email it to anybody or put it on our Facebook page too. And I'm in the process of creating it now. Is kind of a checklist of those things, right? Whether you're buying a home, selling a home, or you're just a homeowner like Shane here. When's the last time you looked at or talked to somebody about these things, right? And if something happened to that system, who's my guy?
Right.
And if you don't have a guy, we can help with that.
Or a
Basically,
gap.
Hey, we don't have to be your guy. We
Look
can
at
get
basic-
help you get
Just
a
a
guy.
basic maintenance checklist.
It's a maintenance checklist
That's
that you should
nice.
do, and put it on your calendar where it dings you, to okay, we're going to change the 9-volt batteries and all the smoke detectors, the furnace filters, and we're going to check these things out as well, and this, that, and the other. So that's why smoke detectors.
Hi,
takes time.
Christina.
Wow, I didn't even know he knew my wife.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Please share
Love
this
that.
out. Hi, Christina.
That is awesome.
So yeah, good
Happy
stuff.
New
So
Year's
I
to
think that
everyone.
each week, as we keep giving meat and potatoes and food for folks and turn them into hardcore homeowners, I think a lot more people are tuning in and they're going to get some good value out of it. But so the main feature and focus of tonight's show is the RTI stuff,
Right.
which we know that here's our RTI logo. RTI Solutions on Facebook. Our website goes live in about 3 days.
Can
There's
you
a
go like the
placeholder up.
Facebook page real quick?
I just rebuilt the website, so I wanted to make sure it was nice and sexy, but it'll be up soon. That'll be rti-solutions.com. You certainly can hit me through Facebook, Brian Zales. You can hit Steve here through Facebook. We're all connected to the same thing. If you're a real estate agent or a broker and you'd like us to come in and do some education at your brokerage or at your real estate office, we'd love to do that. We come in and do lunch and learns all the time. We've got special guests that we can bring in for educational pieces as well, and really help everybody
Hi, Steve.
Be ready to go and how to be a hero to the homeowners that you're working with, whether you're on a buying agent or a selling agent. We'd love to work with you. We want to help educate, and certainly we want to make everybody a hero. Steve, do you have anything else?
No,
I did a lot of talking because it's usually typical.
sorry, we covered all the bases.
Yeah.
I think that's what we were looking at today.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing is, our quick turnaround on the estimates.
Yep.
I think is big, and the fact that we have dedicated crews solely for the reply to inspection work.
Those are huge.
Aaron.
So we can jump on this. We can jump on them. Next day or the
So
same
what
day.
areas do you
necessarily.
cover? Just so people that are watching, what areas do you cover?
Well, the counties that we do for RTIs is we'll do York, Lancaster, Dauphin, Cumberland, Franklin, Adams, and then we can even go into Maryland. And we've got Maryland folks
Yeah.
and do RTIs in
And
the
it's
Maryland
not just
market.
homeowner. You do commercial
All
stuff,
over.
apartments,
Commercial as well,
properties,
multi-housing.
commercial buildings.
Commercial buildings,
Offices,
anything that needs done. If it
warehouse.
happens to a property, we take care of it. And we take care of that again with our own W-2 staff people, not subcontractors. And I think we're pretty good at what
Yeah.
we do. It's good stuff. So I think that's going to be it for this week's show. We'll keep it nice, short, and sweet.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Please share this out. Brian, I still love the comment. He says that Matt's wife thinks the smoke detector is the kitchen timer. She doesn't do the cooking, I do, and I cook a lot. I love to eat, but nobody goes hungry at my house. But thanks, Brian. Hey, appreciate everybody. Tune in next week. We're going to have a real estate agent here to talk about policies, coverages, the right questions to ask, and getting the right information. Make your agent work for you. Right? That's what you're paying them for. Everybody have a great weekend.